Hello everyone, this is Joao from Production Music Live, and in this video we are going to take a look at our new sample pack of dark textures and soundscapes that I use to spice up this techno track. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you what we have here ready, and afterwards I'm going to delete all these textures that I added, and we are going to add them from the beginning in order to understand how to use these files. So you've heard how the track sounds with the textures, and I'm going to solo this group, which includes all of these textures, and I'm going to show you how it sounds individually. Okay, these are just some examples of what we can do using this sample pack. And now I'm going to remove this from the track, and we are going to listen to the track starting without and with these textures to listen to the difference. So let's start without this texture group. So, as you probably noticed, every time that I turned on this texture group or turned it off, there was a big difference in the environment or the background of the track. These kinds of sounds are very much used in this dark techno style, and even though it sounds great without the textures, it feels like we still need some kind of gritty, dirty sound effects in the background to make the track a little bit darker and inside the style. So first of all, I'm going to delete this entire group. And right now we are going to see what we already have. We have a couple of kicks, some snares, some hats, and a lead and a pad synth. And then we have a couple of effects, some of them in reverse and some of them normal. So let's start adding some textures. Let's just add another track. Now let's go to our PML Dark Textures and Soundscapes folder. Let's go to our organic folder and let's listen to some of these sounds. Okay, this is one of the textures that we were using, so let's drop it in. All of these textures are loopable without noticing, so that means you can just duplicate your files and you will not listen to any artifacts while switching from one file to another. Okay, even without reverbs and delays, all of the files loop seamlessly, so you just have to drag them in and duplicate them if you want to have them throughout the whole track, which is not the case right here. So I'm just going to delete these files, and I'm going to get maybe just this beginning and see how that sounds. Let's use this part. And it already sounds good. We don't have to tweak the tuning or anything, but if it doesn't sound exactly in your key, then you can just transpose up or down in order to make it sound better inside your track. That wasn't the case here. But what we will do is we are going to have a compressor with a sidechain input from our kick, and we are going to make this texture pump with our kick. Okay, sounds much better. Okay, let's add a couple of more audio tracks. Let's go to our dark textures and soundscapes, and let's add some of the processed loops. Let's listen to some of them first. Okay, let's drag this one in. The name itself is called Delay Me, so we are going to be adding some delay to this. This is reverb, this is another reverb, and this is our ping pong delay. Let's add this large hall with sidechain compression as well. It's a reverb with the sidechain compression after the reverb, so that the reverb gets compressed. And let's listen to how that sounds. Okay, this has a lot of low end. Most of these samples have a lot of low end, and that, it's on purpose. So if you are not interested in that much low frequencies, just cut it off with an auto filter or an EQ. Right now we are going to be adding an EQ, and I'm going to cut the low frequencies until maybe 150 to 100 Hertz. And I'm going to add this compressor, sidechain compressor, also in this Delay Me sample. Let's see how that sounds. Right, sounds cool, but we want to give it a little bit of a rising feeling, so I'm going to add an auto filter as well, and I'm going to put it in high pass frequency, and we are going to start by listening only to the high frequencies and then slowly dropping the frequency so we can hear the lows. Sounds much better. Of course, we could add this throughout the entire track and keep on filtering up and down using an LFO or even automation. Okay, let's try another texture right now. Let me just take the resonance out a little bit because I just increased this so we could listen to the filter sweeping a little bit better. So let's add another audio track and let's get another sample. Okay, this tarmac sounds good as well. Let's listen to it on its own. Okay, let's add not always, but also the sidechain compression. Maybe a little bit more subtle here. Let's do the same on this one. High pass frequency, yeah. So it may seem like it doesn't make a lot of difference, but as soon as we turn it off, a lot of rhythm and a lot of groove disappears. So these gritty textures, these noisy soundscapes that we have are a very good way of making the sound a little bit darker and more organic than only using drums and synths and all that kind of stuff. So let's try another one. Add another audio track. There was one here that I liked a lot. It was called Aboriginal. And this one probably we are going to have to tune or to transpose in order to fit our track, our key track. Let's see. One semitone down and it already sounds good. Let's add the sidechain. Let's add a low cut EQ. Drop the volume a little bit. Again, it's one of those cases that it doesn't seem like it's doing much, but as soon as we turn the track off, it makes a huge difference. So we already have a few of the processed ones. Let's use another organic, for example. Yeah, this rattlesnake one sounds good. It has a lot of high frequencies. Let's add our sidechain. Let's make a fade out in order to use this like an effect. Cool, and now let's go to the industrial folder and let's find something that fits here. Yeah, this black crystal one is also nice. They're all nice, but it fits really well here. Let's go with this black crystal. Some of the files are bigger than others, and the big files you can just squeeze or cut one of these smaller grooves and make a new loop for yourself and a new original sound for your track just by cutting some parts of these bigger textures in order to fit your track better and to be more original. So that's why we added some textures that are much bigger than others. It's for you to have the liberty to cut some of these parts and to adapt them to your own track. So let's use this one here and see how it sounds. I'm sure it's going to need sidechain, so let's add it already. A little bit too much, but all of these samples that I've been adding, I have not been adding any of the send effects, so let's make this a little bit smoother by adding a delay and reverb. Let's add another audio track and let's go for the processed ones again. Let's find a new groove here. Let's start from the bottom so we hear some of them that we haven't heard before. This one is cool as well. Let's listen to it. Sidechain and low cut. This one sounds really good as well, and this is one of those processed files that you can maybe just slice it into MIDI and get a lot of great sounding alternatives to percussion that are going to fill that low end and that organic space that we like to have in this kind of style. Let's listen from the beginning again. Right, so this is a couple of ideas on how to use these textures. The loops are a lot easier, just drag and drop and tune it to your key. But the textures, you can do a lot with sidechaining, you can do a lot with gating, you can do a lot with all of these techniques. Really easy to apply and makes a very big difference in the final sound. You can find the links to get the pack in the video description, and I hope you liked it. I see you in the next one.